50% of the mid-level managers are doing this. No 30,000 feet strategic gyan on my slides, totally on-ground level tactics, tools, actually 10 tools that can help you save 15 hours per week. I've tried 50 plus AI tools for the last 365 days, shortlisted 30 of my favorite ones. So all of the different fonts, imageries and all can actually be told in one sample format. I don't need to hire a freelancer. So that is how the designing aspects of a marketer's workflow have also been automated. Napkin is a tool. I don't know how many of you have tried it or not. It makes excellent and beautiful diagrams. These are not me. These are my AI clothes. Hello and namaste everyone. I'm Karan. Thanks a lot, Ridhima. I also asked Shiny that why the very last session on the last day. And she said that save the best for the last. So I'll fly with that, especially since today is my birthday. So be sweet and please listen up. Yeah. Okay. You guys are, so I actually had thought that I'll make you say namaste. So can you say namaste at the count of 3 just so that I'm assured that okay, you guys are awake. 3, 2, 1. Namaste. Okay. So we are there. I know this is an over-exaggeration. Most of the marketers do not stop at ChatGPT, but at least 50% of the mid-level managers are doing this. Hey ChatGPT, just like hey Siri, make it shorter. On a day-to-day basis, how many of you actually do make it professional, make it shorter? Okay. 2 disclaimers. Number 1, no 30,000 feet strategic gyan on my slides. Totally on-ground level tactics, tools, full of screenshots. And actually 10 tools that can help you save 15 hours per week at least. So what are those tools actually? These are the tools. As a marketing professional, no matter you're a mid-level manager or a senior level manager or a CMO or just an entrant, I'm sure that these 4 to 5 stages of marketing you all do. Researching, designing, writing, analyzing, right? These are the and of course presenting, my favorite part, as you can see. And I'll go a step further and I'll also show cloning, how you can clone yourself and how you can automate all of these stages all together, which is my ideal vision like 2-3 months down the line. So this is on a very individual level. Of course, many of the tools here you have already seen of, heard of, used. Some of the tools you might not have heard of, and especially some tools, the specific features that have launched, you might not have heard of. And my secret wish is that 1 month from now, this deck should entirely be obsolete, because I do know for a fact, because for the last, I've tried 50 plus AI tools for the last 365 days, shortlisted 30 of my favorite ones. These are the 10s that actually work for me. I think they should work for you, but the way they are evolving on a weekly level, some of the tools are outsmarting each other, and I'm sure that this deck will become obsolete and perhaps me as well. Okay, so researching. This is how we have always done. Google search deep dives, searching for news articles back-to-back, image searches, social media spying, especially from a competitor analysis point of view, blog crawling and Reddit Quora. Everyone does that on a manual level. For the last 10 years of my career, I have at least been doing this. But this is my way now. There is this app called Relay, R-E-L-A-Y. It is an agentic AI tool in which literally workflow is flow of work, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Conjoined by all the arrow marks. All you have to do is that whatever is your tool of choice, Google Sheets, Gmail, Google Calendar, all these tools you just have to, and no API authentication by the way. I'm a totally non-techie guy. The moment anyone says webhooks and API, I'm already scared. So this app has already pre-built integrations with thousands of tools that you and I and most marketing managers usually use. So all you got to do is just put in your ID password and trustfully give access to this particular tool. And as a creative marketer by the weekends, this particular deck is not Swiggy specific at all. Any industry, any particular category, as a creative marketer by the weekends, I do this. So treat this like a template. Yeah. I've just plugged in 5 of my favorite LinkedIn influencers in this app. And every Sunday 9 AM, I get to know that what are the 5 top posts that these guys have done all across social media. It doesn't just summarize and give me an automated report in my Gmail every Sunday at 9. It actually goes on to tell that, hey Karan, I think that basis your branding and their branding as a marketing influencer, what's a creator, this is the reason why their posts are working, basis the number of likes and comments and engagements that they've got. And of course, it gives me the link that in case human in the loop, if I want to take back creative control and actually deep dive at कि नहीं मुझे देखना है कि exactly उसके post में क्या था, so that I can also get inspired, it actually gives you that option. HDFC Deep was here. He was doing a similar thing as a news digest for a daily morning. So the use case can be really specific to you. I use it for competition analysis. It literally saves me at least 2-3 hours per week. And again, 2-3 hours is a placeholder number. I'm sure that a lot of you guys, when it comes to making a presentation, spend days or have spent days. But yeah, that's this. This is a rough snapshot of what it actually does. I have just bloated up the screenshot so that you can appreciate a better view that these are the steps. I would love to float around the deck because it might not be clearly visible, but it literally takes all the influencer posts that I've fed in. The moment you click into each of these steps, you'll actually get a hang of what all prompts you'll give. And Amit said very rightly that it's not the age, that you just give it a prompt, make me a deck or analyze this particular influencer. You literally have to first set up the infrastructure and take a good 2 hours, if you will, in order to tell that what do you exactly want the tool to do, what do you stand for, what do the competitors stand for, what is the ultimate format of output that you would expect, and why you want to use it for. Only and only then this AI agent, which will be an unpaid intern for you while you sip coffee and it works, it will work in a way or fashion that you really can derive actionable insights out of. Fair? Again, Google Notebook. I'm sure you guys have already used it, but two of my favorite features are that I'm a really visual learner. So I literally put 200-pager PDFs of marketing industry reports that do the rounds by McKinsey's of the world. And all I ask Google Notebook is that please make a mind map out of it. I'm a big-time journal guy. So I literally want to connect dots that, okay, what is the connection between all the major ideas of those reports? And also, if you have not tried, please give it a try. It actually makes an audio overview, which is a 2-person fictional character podcast on which they discuss that 200-pager report or whatever have you. Even a 4-hour Vijay Mallya podcast is a 4-minute audio overview in my phone. And while walking to the airport, boarding gate, I can actually get a digest out of it. So that's an audio guy and a visual guy who does not like maybe loads and loads of text. Tools are there which can help you crunch that research time as well. Designing. Traditional way. Briefing back and forth. I'm sure that you yourself do not design, but you have a team of graphic designers, Figma UI designers, web designers, right? And you have to brief them. But in order to brief them, there's always this conflict of the third visual eye that, okay, jo aap bol rahe ho, wo samajh nahi pa raha, and after a week, what he comes out with, you're like, maine kya kaha tha, ye kya banaya? Happens. This entire mood boarding and manual resizing and asset gathering of the right fonts and colors, I've stopped doing because these are the 2 tools that I use now. Google Imagen 4, of course, the latest image generation model. Earlier I used Midjourney. What it really does latest is, how many of you have observed that while creating images of humans, the fingers were always warped? And if I would have said that, okay, in this poster, right on top, iMedia Brand Summit 2025, किसी एक word का spelling mess up होगा. This has actually cracked that, thanks to Sundar, not me. And Google Stitch is the latest tool from their house, which literally helps you create an app. Now, of course, you can host that app as well. That's not my job. I have a lot of product designers whom I need to tell my vision that, hey, for this particular landing page or whatever feature that we are planning for an app-led company, this is how I'm ultimately imagining it to come out to be in terms of the layout, visual hierarchy, fonts, colors, imagery. So all of the different fonts, imageries and all can actually be told in one sample format that, hey, and then he says that, okay, thanks and no thanks Karan, because you have done half my job, but ab yehi milega, aapko yehi chahiye. And that's my intent at times, to be a little prescriptive so that there's less area of ambiguity. And lastly, there's this tool called Replit. It lets you create a website. You've heard the term vibe coding. This entire thing that I'm actually telling today is called vibe marketing. And if you take C, C++, Python, SQL, whatever, again, alien words to me, although I'm an engineer, but any which ways, I don't know how to write a single line of code. But now, by writing a natural language prompt, I'm able to generate a website, and this is an actual live website for my newsletter sign-up page, and it's actually hosted and it's live, so that I can collect your email IDs if you happen to bounce upon that. So I'm able to literally take a website, like I don't need to hire a freelancer, guys. I don't need to hire an agency. So that is how the designing aspects of a marketer's workflow have also been automated. Give it a try. By the way, all the tools that I'm telling are roughly at $20 a month. But yeah, for a paltry 5 to 10K, if you can replace 4 interns, I think it's fair deal. And more than actually the money, the 15 hours that you will save is literally 2 days of a work week. Sip coffee. And this is actually how I did that entire thing. Again, table stakes, you know how to write an LLM prompt, all the prompt best practices, I'm assuming you guys know. And this is the kind of output. Fairly professional. almost ready to go live. If you want to get nerdy and touch every bits of it, again, take back creative control. Writing, I'll not spend much time on it because ChatGPT, all of you know, does a very good job. But what I love doing as a creator marketer is custom GPTs, which are also pseudo AI agents. I don't know if you're able to see this or not. These are my 5 to 10 AI agents within ChatGPT. I love giving funny names. Skrippy is my scriptwriter, Chitrika is my designer, and Linder is my analyst guy. CV Raman helps me with CVs. So what I've actually gone and done is, again, what Amit said, while configuring all of these custom GPTs, there is this kind of a deck that took me 2 years to build as a brand Bible. I'm sure all of your brands have bright guideline decks. So you literally have to feed that along with 50 lines of code and do's and don'ts, so that every time, every morning, I'll just say, Goa tourism marketing is my thought feed for today. And it'll give me a LinkedIn post, Twitter thread, YouTube video, Instagram reels. Quickly analyzing, not spending much time this here as well, because Claude does a good job at something called a long context window. I'm sure all of you know 1 token is equal to 1 word. It is able to ingest 2 lakh tokens, which is almost a 200-pager PDF. And I, as a YouTuber, have the last 365 days of my YouTube Shorts data, along with 3 different marketing and creator economy PDFs. All of these are, by the way, 100-pager PDFs. I upload it into Claude, and I just say, "Agla reel kis topic pe hona chahiye, wo bata do," and it gives me that. My Sunday is sorted so that I can shoot. And I'll come to how I don't shoot as well these days. Presenting, Gamma is already said. Shiny, this was the first deck that I gave you. Sorry, it was made by Canva AI. Don't blame me. So it was a 5-minute job, but this deck is entirely handwritten by me. Napkin is a tool. I don't know how many of you have tried it or not. It makes excellent and beautiful diagrams. How many of you think that these diagrams are ready for a CXO level presentation? Almost, like, apart from the gaudy colors that you see here. Pretty professional. Earlier, I used to spend days trying to connect all of these connectors, lines, fonts, and diagrams. This is exactly now I tell Napkin to do, and this is what it gives me. Literally saves me hours. And these are not me. These are my AI clones finally. What I've ultimately done is, I'll probably show you this. There's a tool called HeyGen, which is an AI clone tool. We had a gentleman from Kota. So how they might be using it is for a chatbot. How I might be using it to replace myself. Yeah. So what I've done is that I've actually just given 1 minute of a video footage of me giving various expressions, heightened emotions. How would a Karan speak when he's heightened? How would a Karan speak when he's serious? How would he speak slowly? How would he speak fast? All of these voice is also plugged into another tool called 11 Labs that also captures the tones and frequencies and wavelengths of our varied emotions, and it ingests all of that, and all you have to do for the next 7 reels of my next 7 days is actually just plug in the thought seeds from Skrippy, give it to HeyGen, and my reels will be out. I seldom use it, to be honest, because I love talking to a camera, because that is the self-expression soul of it, so that I don't lose it. But these things exist now. Now, as a marketing manager, as a creator, as a mid-level professional, as a team manager, how would you use all of these 10 tools? On what stage and depth and breadth of workflows would you use these tools? That is totally up to your wildest imagination. But these tools exist, and week over week, they are getting even more sophisticated. And I'll rest my case with this final N8N automation tool, N8N. All of the tools that I discussed, I'm actually plugging into this platform, a node-based platform, little nerdy, single line of code is needed, trying to figure out my stuff with it. But instead of scheduling and triggering, I can actually keep everything automated so that on a daily level, whatever is trending in India on my particular field of choice, scriptwriter is scripting, designer is designing, it's sending over to HeyGen, videos are out, Twitter threads are posted, because all of my ultimately social media platforms are also given access while I can sip, as you can imagine, coffee. So thanks. I hope that this was useful to you. That's me.